Dr. S. Venkataramaniah is a professor of Operations Management and Chairperson of Admissions, IPMX, PGPWE and EFPM at Noida Campus of IIM Lucknow. He has 32 years of experience in teaching and research. Today we are here with Professor S. Venkataramaniah to know more about the Executive MBA IPMX program, which is a full-time one-year degree program for executives at IIM Lucknow Noida Campus. My first question is, what is the IPMX program? How did this program come about?
IIM Lucknow is one of the premier institutions of this country. It was established in the year 1984. And, over the period of time, the leadership of the institute has felt that there is an immense need for this kind of executive education. So they started this. Our institute is the IIM Lucknow is the first one to have a very exclusive, the full-fledged campus at Noida NCR. At Noida in the NCR region. So this was primarily catering to the working executives, mid-career professionals with about 5 years of experience and above. So as we had this time is now 17th program is happening, and the forthcoming program is the 19th one. And that shows the legacy and how well in advance we can think of for such kind of need in this country. So that is how this program has established. And why the name international program? It's not just executive program. This is a program with a lot of emphasis on both learnings from the country as well as from the international reputed organizations, including academic and non-academic institutions outside India. So there is a unique feature of the foreign immersion or international immersion. Till date, it is going on, and it's so successfully, and the students and the entire community is also very happy about this unique feature of this program. So that's about the genesis of this IPMX program.
As you described that it is for executives, mid and senior level. Is there some basic criterion in terms of work experience?
Yes. So what we look at is, it's not just the length of experience, but the suitability of experience, particularly their, the 5 years plus means they are expected to be in the managerial roles. So it's not only maybe started with, let us say, a technical experience or the entry level, but over the period of these 4 or 5 years or rest of the period, that how they are evolved in their career in terms of handling some managerial positions and how to make use of this experience that they are aspiring for, what is required in the managing, maybe in terms of the scale and scope of the projects that they are doing. And of course, it is a career development as well. So we precisely look at the management roles that they are performing, or the functional roles, and their aptitude towards management. That is more important. It's not just a years of experience, but their lessons they learned during their experience is very, very important. And the panel members who are assessing these candidates will be very particular about what are their roles and responsibilities, how this program is going to help them, and fitting this requirement of the program as well as the qualification of the aptitude towards management education is very important for the program.
So as I was reading the website, a minimum of 5 years of experience is also what is the basic that is considered for this program, isn't it?
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, that it is not just the experience, but it is experience with managerial role. Let us say someone who is working as an individual in a team versus a person who is handling a team of 10, 15 people, or even for that matter, some of the organizations, let us say an R&D department, which is having 2, 3 people. So that what is that they were able to manage in terms of the deliverables, in terms of the workforce, in terms of the responsibilities, etc. That kind of experience we look forward.
If you look at from the student's perspective, what would be the outcome of the IPMX program?
I think this is a very pertinent question. And the students, what is that they gain? They gain the the gap that they felt that to lead the organization or in their career, it is a career development program, number one. Number two, what is their, how they can bridge their gap in terms of academic requirements and as well as looking at the industry requirements. So there, the content is designed and delivered in such a way that they will be able to grasp and accumulate these capabilities when they go back to the industry in mid and senior level positions. We know in this program, in fact, we could see that, we have gained a rich experience from our side also, that we have mastered this art of preparing them for the industry in terms of all the skills, perspectives, knowledge, and their overall development of the personality that matches with the requirements of the industry to lead middle and senior level positions. That's what the students can gain. And also, some of them, specifically when you look at from the perspective with which they come, there are people who want to grow in their same vertical or functional area, or there are also a few people who will be interested in shifting from one domain to another domain. For example, there are people who come from public sector organizations. For example, energy sector, people come with the public sector experience. They want to shift to private sector, preferably consulting and other sectors, other firms in the area of energy. And like that, there are people who can make use of this for switching their careers as well. This is suitable for both who want to grow in the same domain or they want to change the domain altogether also. Similarly, someone who is coming with a BFSI background, they want to go deep into this. They can choose appropriate electives and then get their capabilities developed suitably for the requirements of the industry. So that's how they can tailor-made this program.
If I had to ask you, what would be the unique points or the USPs of
Good.
this particular?
As I already mentioned, that the unique selling proposition of this is number one, our institute reputation, and number two is the industry acceptance of the kind of training that we provide, and the industry relevant the curriculum, and also international module. International immersion is one such thing, and we also have some of the features like there is something called the course of independent study. The students can pursue what is interest to them. Suppose if someone wants to pursue a specific area, let us say a climate change or sustainability or some other aspects of that they are interested. In case if there is no available resources for offering such electives, students still can take up such kind of special topics as their interest study, then pursue that, and it will also be treated as equivalent to a subject. So these are some of the very unique selling propositions, and international immersion is one such aspect of this program. And the rigor of the program is also very stringent.
This is actually a fully residential one-year program.
Correct.
Now, at mid-level or senior level, wouldn't this be a challenge? Because most executive courses are designed, accommodating them.
Now, yeah, I'm proud to say that IIM Lucknow is one institute which is responding to all these kind of needs much faster than others. I can proudly say that. So I can also say that I worked in a number of other institutions of similar repute, but IIM Lucknow is very fast in terms of launching a new suitable programs when there is an opportunity to grab. And we have another 2-year executive MBA program for working executives. If you cannot come by leaving your job and staying back one complete year, there is also a program for them. So generally they can choose such kind of program, which we call it as a postgraduate program for working executives, which is spread across 21 months. Rather, it is close to 2 years, and they will also get MBA degree. Okay. So in this program, this is residential. By design, it is residential and fully on campus. And we don't even allow someone who wants to stay outside. No, it is compulsorily a full-time residential program.
The next question is about the selection process. You see,
Yeah.
You are asking for a valid GMAT or GMAT focus edition or GRS score. And then
Yes.
there is a writing ability test and personal interview. Now, someone who comes with so much of experience, at least minimum 5 years, why a writing ability test?
Wonderful.
And then,
I think I must share one more thing with you. In fact, this written ability test, we call it as VAT. Earlier, there was a GDPI, group discussion and personal interview. This is part of the interview process. When we looked at anything which is particularly for IIM admissions, anything that you do, there are enough number of people who can master it within no time. How to go about group discussion? There are n number of opportunities for the students or the potential candidates to master it. And with the IIMs and IIM selection process is known for its innovation and try to put some new element into the selection process. So as part of this, in 2010 itself, I am the one who has changed this GD in place. In place of GD, we introduced a written ability test across the country, and which worked very well. So it has been followed almost on all IIMs. Non-IIMs are also following, because GD is a common platform where 10 to 15 minutes, depending on the number of candidates. So let us say 15 minutes, 10 candidates have to express their view on a given topic. There may be a good number of candidates who want to say, but one or two candidates, they take the lead and then try to dominate. It's not a level playing field for someone. Let us say someone like me. I am a silent person to a large extent. Unless it is required, I won't open my mouth. So there are few people who are very proactive. They can take away a lot of your time, or someone say that, you say a few points. If I am smart, I can summarize that in best possible manner. So as assessor, we'll be in trouble. Not only the candidate is getting affected, the silent candidate or the less active candidate is affected. Even the assessor is also at risk, because we don't know what is correct and what is not correct. And someone spoke for a few minutes and someone spoke for very less time. So in that sense, you give us what you want to say. You give in writing, or rather put your ideas in writing, and that too, that writing is very small. And this is not new. We have been following this in the school level. Given a passage, write the short version, and given a small line, write a comprehensive essay. So like that, we have gone back to the school days one way. So this was a big difficult task for me, particularly when we introduced for PGP and other programs across the board way back in 2010 itself. So it is working very well. And anyhow, we'll be interacting with each candidate separately, individually, and that time we can assess what is their communication abilities. So we have included this communication ability in the as part of the personal interaction. Okay. So every candidate now get 10 to 15 minutes time to express their idea in writing. So the writing is much more versatile than talking, right? So that is the rationale behind this. And I feel proud to say that it has been done by me only.
The reasoning is quite good, because I also think that group discussions are always very unequal. There are a lot of students who have been told you have to dominate the entire conversation.
Yeah. No, not only that. You just look at in any meeting, and the boss is there, there are a lot of people who want to say something, but they won't be able to say. That is a hierarchical thing. Whereas here, no student, no candidate knows the other candidate. Yeah, everybody is joined there. And the other side, when we are assessing someone, we don't have any clue about who is who. Right? Exactly. So the chances of that is very dim to identify what is the correct versus not so correct. That was the rationale.
My next question is again with the writing ability test. What can students expect in this? What will they be tested on?
Suppose, for example, we say the climate change. We choose these topics very carefully. We collect from various experts and faculty members, etc., which is very confidential. Only people will get to know when they start opening the question paper. It is as sacrosanct as any other exam. Like, let us say, is as sacrosanct as the cat itself. Okay, so we choose such topics very carefully, and we give that topic, let us say, a climate change and its influence on the business. And nobody knows, there is no advanced preparation for these candidates. No coaching center can help. No, even including the candidate, they don't know what is the clue, what type of topic is going to. Nobody can guess what is going to be the topic. Every time we choose, there are so many topics which we can choose from. So when you give an instantaneous topic and then limited time, they have to look at what is the structure, what are the facts, how they put in their ideas, what are the possible solutions, etc. If there is a such kind of scenario, so it shows your originality. We look at the communication skills, written ability skills, written communication skills, particularly looking at the topic and its relevance for the business aptitude or management aptitude kind of thing. That's what we look at, how structured a candidate is. So that was very interesting. And even the students write on in the website, in the social media, that what is that they enjoy and all those things. And still there is that also has become, after the conduct of the exam, you can't stop. So that is known to everyone. So obviously we can't take the same topic anymore. So that way we are continuously upgrading ourselves also by choosing relevant topics.
My next question is like, all this is a very interesting selection process. So, and especially for executives, because they are some people who come with some experience, have worked and all those things. So what does IIM Lucknow look for in the candidates that it is going to select?
See, what we look at is the managerial talent. Is this person is versatile in both, subject matter as well as non-subject matter. We need academic depth also. Not that if someone is a good coordinator, does not mean that he can manage. The management has a different connotation. Here, the management aptitude or management skills, what we look at is precisely that someone who has the subject knowledge and also has the aptitude to put things in perspective and manage the results, result oriented, goal oriented. And if you look at from managing people or managing teams, both interpersonal skills and subject matter and all those things are very much required. Holistic. In one word, if I say, the holistic nature of the candidate in a given situation. Someone who is coming from government service to private, there also things are very, very different. So now sometimes people ask, I come from public sector organization for last 5-6 years. How will I fit into private tomorrow? So let me tell you, these kind of candidates, there is no less attention given by the recruiters. Rather, they will be much more interested, because the government organizations procedures are much complex compared to private organizations. Private organizations generally little flexible. Don't take it otherwise that they are different, but they are different in their organization structure, etc., etc. But when it comes to the point of the managerial issues, whether it is a financial management or whether it is a other functional management, etc., they will be almost fit, and vice versa. Of course, no government is coming and recruiting our students, but some of them will go back to their parent companies, both public sector and private sector. And we always suggest that if you are happy and they are also happy, and if you get what you want in the same organization, you should try that. So that is the kind of orientation that we try to make them to understand.
When it comes, we were talking of, you said students can take up electives that they really want, So what are the electives that are, because obviously any institute cannot offer every single thing. Right?
See, now, since our institute is also very old and we have a good number of faculty, almost close to 100 faculty members we have across all areas. Every area is almost sufficiently number of people available. And we have different specializations within the areas also. For example, I look at supply chain analytics and healthcare management. Now I'm also thinking of getting into climate resilient resilient supply chains, etc. So though we are in one area, is let us say operations and supply chain. Within operations and supply chain, we have number of expertise. We collectively offer a bouquet of electives, including operation strategy, supply chain analytics, project management, and dynamic pricing, like that. So every one of us have a unique PhD specialization and our own interest. So like that, other areas also have their own interest. For example, finance area as a corporate finance, investment banking, and others. So we have enough number of expert faculty who can offer. Not only that, when we do not have sufficient bandwidth to offer a very specific elective, we invite external faculty members, industry experts, particularly not that external faculty members comes from the another academic institution. They are practicing managers. Sometimes some of them happen to be our own alumni. So they can come and offer a very specific electives, which is relevant and suitable for the students as on date. So we have such kind of electives also in our bouquet. So students are free to choose such kind of mix and match kind of thing as per their requirement.
My next question is like, how is the program structure designed then?
Very good.
Because that's
the program structure is designed in such a way that though it is a fast track, I would call it as fast track, and it is being proved all over the world that actually, if you look at the overall duration and the content that is required, the 2-year program students also does the similar, but 2 years is compressed into 1 year. That is the challenge, both for their candidates as well as for the faculty or the institute. So in this, if you see that the overall requirement of credits can still be completed in 10 to 11 months period. And accordingly, we have designed, and also they come with a huge experience, maybe 5+, minimum is 5 years, average experience about 8 years, 8+ or 8.5 years experience. They don't need the way the candidates with less experience, so maybe 1 or 2 average years of experience. Our regular program, if you look at the average experience, work experience is about less than 2 years. For them, we need to focus more on more as well as slow. They can't absorb this kind of thing. And there is an internship between 2 years for them. Whereas here, since they come from the industry work experience, just fresh with a work experience. So there is no internship, but in place of that internship, we take them to the industries to the extent possible. And the international immersion is one such thing to bridge that gap of international exposure and so on and so forth. And we have 4 terms. 1-year program is 4 terms. These 4 terms, first two terms is the basic courses. The third and fourth terms will be elective courses, including their courses of independent study and international immersion. And these are designed in such a way that there is also a small 1-week gap between the between any 2 terms. So that is how this course is designed, and every term is almost equally distributed in terms of the credit load and so on and so forth.
I was looking at other features of this program. So there was this overseas module.
Yeah.
Now, one of the important questions that generally come to mind is like, first, what is exactly this overseas module?
Okay.
Second thing, what about the charges for this?
Let me answer the second question first. So at one point in time, the entire charges were part of the course fee. Where, based on our experience and also the feedback that we have received from the students, we have separated part of this travel, because the international travel, particularly after COVID, is under no control of anybody. Suppose if we charge 2 lakhs towards a travel cost, the 2 lakhs may be short or 2 lakhs may be more, right? So visa fee to a large extent is known in advance, so that will not change too much. So except the international air travel component this year onwards, we made it separate because the fluctuations in the airfares, and to be fair to the candidate. So that's what. And the fee is excluding that. And we mentioned that in the brochure also. You might have seen that the international air travel, international immersion, air travel, airfare is as per the actuals. Okay. Now, coming back to the content of this international module or international immersion, everybody wants why IIM is a brand. Now, when you are in IIM, we also want to expose our students and experience the international business schools of high reputation and also the industry practices. When we take our students to outside for this international immersion, the best of the best faculty from those institutions will come and interact with our students in the name of a few courses. It's not a selected sessions, but a full-fledged 2-3 courses they do in this 2 weeks period. And they will also visit industries, companies who are available there, depending on the availability and permissions that we get, etc., so that they are exposed to the industry practices also. The another thing is that they will also get an opportunity to interact with those managers in their organizations or in the international organizations. And apart from this, it is also very imperative for the candidates to work in the global environment and what are the global cultural issues and so on. So let's say when you go from one city to another city, there is a lot of learning. So similarly, when you go from one country to another country for this kind of things, it is very, very enriching. And I must recall then when I was a school student, there used to be a school excursions. There, the people forever they remember. So such kind of memories and their experiences, learnings, etc., is simply superb. So that's one of the greatest USPs of this program is international immersion, and both the learning experience as well as the other parts of the spillover effect of this is very high. Yes, and it is spread across more than 2 weeks. So the 2 weeks there is a lot one can learn. Okay, right. Yeah. And we also have sometimes some of the sessions by international faculty through online. That is also another feature.
This program is also accredited by AACSP and the
AMBA, yes.
So, how is this beneficial in your opinion?
Wonderful,
Because,
wonderful.
not many people bother to
It's a
learn
brand.
things.
It's a brand, and brand is recognition, brand recognition. AACSB and AMBA, and maybe other one is also there. We are yet to get that certification increase. And these are all the accreditations like NIRF ranking. When a student is choosing a institute, they will also look at whether it is accredited or non-accredited, etc. And our international collaboration also requires, and our brand value will be much higher. And that brand value means the beneficiary is our student. So that's what we have. And of course, this is a system-oriented, process-oriented that tells you. Now, let me give my own style of example that you buy a particular, let us say, phone. When it comes to phone, almost, all are brands. But within the brand, there are some distinctions, etc. So how do you choose such kind of product? Similarly, the selection of institute becomes much privilege for the students to look at it. Yeah. Yes, that is the biggest advantage for anybody, including us. Including faculty, we feel proud that our institute is also accredited double or triple and so on. So any recognition is a big reward. Yeah.
Yes, and most people don't understand, I guess, or do not even think much about it, that accreditation comes with a lot of work.
My
It's not
God,
like
we spend a lot of time and energy on this, let me tell you, and it takes away a good amount of time. That is what is process orientation. So system driven. And it's not only that once you get the certificate, it is done. No, it's not like that. After getting the certification, there is a lot more work to continue to maintain this. And it is valid for, I think, valid for 4 or 5 years or so. Now we are going through a review process. So your ranked once means accredited once means it's not the end of the story. But it has a limited life, and you continue to improve upon that. And there is a competition. It is one way to be in the competition.
My next question is about the hands-on experience. Now,
Yes.
this program does not have any internships.
Okay.
Do they have anything like a projects? How does
Correct.
practical,
No, let me. This is what I said. This course delivery, this course design is different from mine. In a significant way, it is different from our 2-year program or other programs because they already come with 5+ or let us say 8+ years of average experience. They already gained a lot of experience in their field by work. And we generally give in every course for that matter, there will be a class assignments, group assignments, individual assignments, presentations, and the evaluation process is slightly different or rigorous compared to other programs. They have opportunity to work on the live projects many a times, and sometimes the predefined projects also they work. And apart from this, the as I mentioned that internship, it's not a full-fledged 1 or 2 months internship, but generally these students, when they take up some projects, they also work closely with the industry experts. In my course, for that matter, so we assign a batch of a team of students to work with us as internally. I am the internal supervisor, and I also request my industry friends or colleagues, some of our well-wishers, who are ready to guide our students in that matter. And for that matter, some of the courses are well designed by both academicians and industry partner or industry expert. So that way there is a good mix of such kind of exposure to the students, and they normally do multiple projects. And apart from the compulsory projects as part of the course, the students can take their voluntary projects on their voluntarily also. So that's how they get benefited.
Does this program come as part of the placement? If yes, then some insights in the placement statistics that has.
Okay. So the placement statistics, generally we don't give, but let me tell you the honest submission is more than 90 to 95% of the students get placed before convocation. Our deadline is as long as the convocation, the moment you join till you graduate. That was our tentative. It's not a hard and fast rule that we have written, but we generally take it that as the tentative timelines. During that period, almost 95 to 96, and sometimes 100% also. There are occasions where 100% of the students got placed a couple of years back also. Even in spite of COVID and all, immediately after COVID, 2 years consecutively, 100% placement was there. So placement is not an issue. One has to understand here. There are candidates who have appeared as many as 10 interviews, not 1 or 2. There are candidates who have appeared for 10 interviews. That shows that there are such a number of companies, available for you to appear for. Why they don't get selected finally is because their positioning, their preferences for place, package, etc. That's what I call it as 4 P's of MBA. The position, pay, package, and the preference, and whatever you can attribute the other. I must tell you honestly, sometimes many of the students, they want placement in Bangalore. 70 to 80% of the batch size, they want a placement in Bangalore or Hyderabad for obvious reasons. This is not their demand, particularly their parents or their spouses. I call it as spouse preference. That is true. Sometimes you are working, but because you come with a good amount of experience, now it is the time for you to stabilize at one place. If you are less than 25, you still have another 5 years or more than that to go anywhere in the country or outside. But this mix of people comes with a relatively good experience, and somewhere around close to 30 or even less than 30. There's nothing wrong in giving that kind of or keeping that kind of reference in mind. So I don't want to go anywhere or rather wherever that is possible. So that is the main reason for this less than 100% placement. That's what I always say, both personally and officially also, that have something in your hand and then try to find out some possible alternatives. But at the same time, I must tell you one thing. Our problem is not about placement. Our problem is these people, once they join, we don't keep track of them. They don't keep informing us. We don't want to take that burden. They jump within 6 months or 1 year. When this happens, you join a company and you left within 6 months. For that company, it is a huge cost. That company will hesitate to come to campus next time. That is our problem. So our problem is not with the companies. Our problem is with our own students who go and try to jump within less than 6. There are few candidates who join and left within 3 months. So this was our peculiar problem.
And these days, people are much more specific about
Yes,
their
yes.
choices.
So
Be it location, pay, anything. So they're not willing
yes,
to settle.
Yeah.
My last question would be,
yes,
any message or advice to prospective students,
yes. So I tell, don't take MBA as a qualification. It is beyond qualification. It is a transformation program for transformation. You want to transform yourself into something different, do MBA. It is a professional transformation. It is a transformation at the individual level. The whole family will transform. Let me tell you honestly, the way within 1 month after joining, each candidate, their perspective will be completely different. Completely different. They enjoy the transformation in the first 1 month itself. And towards the end of the program, you have to see their parents and they share, you have given us our child in much different way. I have interacted with a number of parents. Their parents says that, thank you so much. So that was the message. And I wish all the candidates and of course, those who join our programs also. So MBA is a transformation program.